Welcome to your coloring social. I am loving the chat because we have like some Sonder family members who go to socials, but they've not come to a coloring social. And so I'm really, really excited to welcome those people checking us out for the very first time. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy, and I am your on-screen facilitator tonight. And then joining us, Maya and I were together last night and we're together tonight. Maya Martin Glenn, she is coming to us from Colorado. Y'all, she is actually still at work. No power in her house, and she's trying to decide, do I spend the night at my desk or do I go home? So anyway, welcome to you first timers. Now, I think these socials are really special because you don't have to color if you don't want to. We give you a lot of safe space to carve out some time for yourself. These are huge, hugely heavy in the instrumentals, in being with one another. And yep, Andrea, I do the coloring socials. Isn't that fun? And so we create this kind of different environment from the other socials. I'm gonna guide you through our mandala tonight, but you may be sitting there with some embroidery or your watercolors. You may be doing something else that is a slow flow for you to just kind of recenter, settle yourself from the day. It is the day before Friday. We've almost made it to the weekend. So I always think these are just really special because they're a little bit different. So you can, but I am a big proponent of coloring. It's so good for your brain. You can go, sometimes I talk about that. But if you're curious, you can go just Google, why is adult coloring good for your brain? And you will be amazed at the science that's behind it. So some of you may have already colored February and you've gotten your March and you thought, I'll bring that. You can bring anything you want, work on anything you want. This is your time, your space. And I know lots of people will also use this as a brain dump session. They carve this out, they join Sonder Family, that community that supports them, and then they just brain dump. And so that's also very good for you. So, really, it's about taking what you need. Make sure your chat is set to everyone. That is how we will communicate. Yeah, Sonia, because Sonia says, and I'm just here for the chat. I came to be a little social butterfly. So, we say, take what you need. And sometimes that's just connecting with one another. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I think Carrie, for that comment. I think it's, my popping lips. Sometimes I've got it. Um, if you've done your coloring page, like Sonia just said, coloring page done, I've got a couple of really cool examples to show you that will help you extend that you might want to consider. Beautiful. They're all from the Sonder family. So, y'all know I pulled this quote because this is a quote that has been one of those ones. I probably heard it when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And so it's always sort of been in my mind most of my life. And it's whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And for me, that kind of sums up belief and what that means. It's really about, it comes from within and what you think you can or cannot do. So I love that. So, oh, Sharon, I'm so excited about our opening activity tonight. It's a little bit different. A lot of times we do breathing, but I've got something really fun to share with y'all tonight. So they're the community guidelines. If you've been to a social before, you have seen these. We always share them to remind one another of the types of spaces we create when we are together. If you're here brand new, you will see these community guidelines at every one of our socials because it is that reminder to take good care of ourselves and others. And then anytime you have questions about your journal subscription, whatever, email hello@silkandsonder.com. That's headquarters. And they'll be able to help you. So, nope, you're not too late, Melody. You're right on time. Again, so glad to see y'all. So, we're going to have a quick opening activity. You're going to get a little creative, and we're going to have our coloring time. And I've got some really great examples to show you. And I want to remind you about some stuff that's really cool about mandalas and how you can make yours even more meaningful if you haven't already colored it. And then we will just close our time. And I'm going to beg you to please go post your beautiful work um, in the Sonder Club. And remember, coloring is about the process. We love the product. We love that end result, but I want you to focus on what's happening as you just decompress and you go through this process tonight. So that's where your focus is. Um, so, our opening activity, if your beliefs were Olympic events, you'd probably have a few golds and a couple of silvers and maybe some participation ribbons from lessons learned the hard way. Today, instead of competing, though, you get to reward yourself a medal. Award yourself a medal. So I want you to find a little blank space in your journal. I did mine on my notes page. I'm going to, or the little weekly notes. I'm going to show it to you, that scratch pad. So find a blank space in your journal and draw a medal that honors a belief that you are especially proud of, or one that you're still practicing. Maybe it's courage, kindness, resilience, curiosity, or hope. And then write to that. I'm awarding myself this medal because this belief helps me win, and I want to keep strengthening this belief by. And so there's mine. And I put this little reminder in case you're wondering. I think little you is really proud. So I have awarded myself the gold medal in resilience. I'm awarding myself this medal because in spite of hard things, I managed to bounce back. It might take a moment, but I always seek what I can learn. This belief helps me when tough stuff happens. I'm reminded that I've made it through every hard day I've ever had. I'll keep strengthening by learning and honing skills to be kind and gentle to myself. So, well, Christine, I do not have full reign on resilience, so we can share resilience together. So I'm going to put this back up, put a little bit of music on, and I cannot wait to hear about your medals that you are rewarding yourself this evening. Share in the chat. I am clapping for every one of you. Do you hear the roar of the crowds as you have accepted this medal? Y'all wear this medal every single day, whether you realize it or not. And I hope that this activity just filled you with so much self-pride as you consider those beliefs that guide you and make you who you are. So you might be finishing this up. I'm going to go ahead and get into the rest of our slide deck. I would actually, I love to see your coloring pages, but I would really love to see what your medal looks like. And you don't even have to do the reasons you chose it. Maybe just post your medals in Sonder Club. Make everybody wonder what we were up to tonight. Thank you for embracing this. I really do hope that you can just imagine yourself wearing that medal every day when you have a tough time. Pick it up, bite that coin, and remind yourself of who you are. So we have this beautiful mandala. We've had several mandalas as of late. Next month we go to a different page. I love mandalas because they are so representational of life itself that, we see mandalas all over in nature. Now, I had shared this several months ago, so I won't go through it. But I'll have these slides up so that you can see. So a mandala can be very therapeutic depending on, like what's going on in your life. So you might want to really lean into your practice tonight by considering like where is your mindset and how things are going. So if you have a time where you need to reconnect with yourself or your focus, you might want to start from the center and work out because that can really support that reconnection to self. Perhaps you need to have time to decompress, to reflect, to kind of settle thoughts that are bouncing everywhere. When you feel like that, you might want to start from the outside where all those things are and work toward the middle to have that symbolism of taking all the stuff that's in your life and bringing it to heart. So that's an approach to this page. Perhaps you need a little balance in your life. You feel a little disjointed. When you feel that way, you can work in segmented forms. And I actually took my mandala and drew pie shape through them. That's mine. I love to do that. And I love to color like one whole slice red, and then I'll go back over some of the intricate designs and in that one slice and go a little darker. And then I'll do the next slice blue and then purple. But this is a great way to symbolize balance if you feel like you're needing it right now to work in that symmetrical kind of way. So I'll go back through these as you begin working. And then maybe you just have too much structure in your life and you need to like let go. And so there can be a lot of symbolism in just coloring it kind of willy-nilly and not really having a plan. So this is a way to extend your coloring practice of a mandala into really focusing on maybe what you need at this time. And then I have some beautiful examples from our Sonder family that I just wanted to share with you. And I'll go back and forth so you can see these again. But this is a very Valentine-y, lots of hearts. And so we're going to have lots of heart-filled music this evening. But just look at how different and how beautiful they've all turned out. It's about taking what you need. And then I wanted to share, okay, this one's great because all the colors used represented meaningful things in this person's life. So you might want to extend your coloring practice by really embracing meanings of colors. And this could be, you might even take something like this and put it into your practice for next month. And then finally, oh, I love these red ones. Red's my favorite color. That's why my ribbon on my medal was red. But we've got these, but y'all look, this is a great way. If you finish this page already and you want an extension activity, we can grab some stickers like the example you see on the left. And then the one on the right has all these beautiful little doodles and dongles, and it's just so joyful. And I wanted to share that with you. Also, in addition, a mandala is a perfect place to maybe take a dark marker and write a word, or maybe you'll take the word that you put on your medal tonight and write it across your colored mandala. It just makes a great frame for that. So enough talking from me. I've got lots of great music all framed around, like I said, heart-filled songs this evening. And I'll go back and forth through these. And, just as things come up, feel free to share in the chat. What are you noticing? Start off with some really big, deep breaths and just take this time for yourself to find your flow. And if you're working on a different kind of project tonight, drop that in the chat and let us know what you're doing. I'm just checking in with y'all. We still have a few minutes left, but I wanted to point out a couple of things in case you missed it. Greta popped on earlier and said when she sat down, her heart rate was like going at 80. She was in the 80s and just sitting with her page and beginning her coloring practice, it's already dropped down. It had already dropped down into the 60s. And so, like, that's that science part of why this is so good for us. I love that Michelle shared. She's using the colors. She used teal for ovarian cancer and purple as a cancer survivor, and blue because it's her favorite color. So she's really embracing those colors that have meaning to her. So if you find yourself doing some of that, let us know. Or if you're just like, life is random and that's what I'm doing right now. The random colors represent the random life. But I'm so proud of y'all for just sitting here and kind of decompressing tonight. So I'm going to put on some more music. If other things are coming up for you, let us know in the chat. And we'll just continue to kind of dive into these mandalas tonight. My friends, thank you for joining us tonight. I posted my medal in Sonder Club. I want to see yours. Thank you for taking a little break with us, for decompressing, for um, hanging out on pre-Friday, getting ready for the weekend. We'd love to see your medals in Sonder Club, your coloring pages. I hope that you have resettled. Hope everyone's heart rates have dropped. I know it's already over, but it doesn't have to be over. You can scan this QR code and it's going to take you to my Spotify playlist, which is called Heart, and it's all the songs you heard tonight. Everything's heart themed. And so you can dial in and keep coloring. Don't tell anybody it's over. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we will just see you very soon, family.
Across the street, the river runs down in the gutter. Life is slipping away. Let me still exist in another place, running on the cover of a helicopter plane. Flames are getting higher in efforts, burning down the bridges of my memory. Love may still be alive somewhere, somewhere, where they're down and only dear 100 steel towns away. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with the words I love you rolling off my tongue. No, never will I roam, for I know my place is home, where the ocean meets the sky. I'm sailing. Photographs, kerosene, light up my darkness, light it up, light it up, light it up. I can still feel a touch